Sentencing date hearing unexpectedly adjourned following the conviction of Sean Diddy Combs last week. In fact, defense attorneys and federal prosecutors initially agreed to a September 22nd sentencing date for Combs. This is ahead of a remote hearing that was set for this afternoon. But shortly before the hearing, attorneys for both sides sent a joint letter to the judge saying that they had agreed to the original proposed sentencing date of October 3rd. Combs was acquitted of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but convicted on 2 counts of prostitution-related charges. He faces a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison on those counts. And our ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky has the latest.
Kana, Sean Combs is going to be sentenced this fall after he was convicted of 2 counts of prostitution-related charges that together carry a maximum prison term of up to 20 years. He is unlikely to get that much, but federal prosecutors are expected to ask for at least 5 years. Combs will receive credit for time served, which will subtract about a year from the ultimate sentence. His acquittal on sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges took away the possibility of life in prison for Combs, who's preparing to ask for leniency. The defense has already argued Combs has taken steps to address what the judge called a propensity for violence, as seen on 2016 hotel security camera footage. And his attorney said Combs began a batterers program in New York prior to his arrest. The defense has also argued Combs did not make money from prostitution, but rather was the primary client of the male escorts he was convicted of transporting. His attorneys were prepared to ask for an expedited sentencing. They backed off that at the last minute, and so the judge has set Sean Combs' sentencing for October 3rd.
What's up? What it do, man? Back on this Diddy situation real quick. So for people that be following Diddy and may not understand, I'm gonna just hold you for 1 second. I'm not gonna give you too much of a redundant on Diddy. Diddy was supposed to have a sentencing hearing today where they were supposed to expedite his sentencing. What legal strategy or what reason why they was trying to bring his sentencing up a little further, I'm not really sure. My intelligence tells me that they was trying to get his sentencing moved up so they could hurry up and get him sentenced and moved on to do the sentence, and think that it may be a small amount of time or a little bit of amount of time where he could get where he going to start his thing and get where he's going to start a sentence, to be clear. But however, that's not what happened today. So today, a lot of people thought it was going to be a bunch of hoopla at the court building. It was supposed to be a remote hearing. However, Diddy's attorney and the government, the U.S. attorney, they went back and forth about a few things. And then the judge basically asked him what was up. For whatever reason, they agreed on the October 3rd sentencing date. The October 3rd date is the date that they was supposed to be talking about in the beginning anyway. So all the real big time Diddy supporters, people that's been real interested in Diddy in this situation right here since it went to court in a partial verdict, that's what's going to happen. What I will say is this. I've been watching and looking and checking out a lot of people who call themselves experts, legal experts. And many of them saying that Diddy should get about 5 years. Some people saying that the government asked for 51 months, close to 5 years. Let me say this. A lot of the stuff that they saying sentence prediction wise makes sense, but I will tell you this. In my personal experience, just for you to understand this, a federal sentencing is not the regular sentencing that most people think about. A person may get found guilty of armed robbery in a state court, which most people understand. And that may carry 5 to 15 years. That person may go in there and get some time in between that because you can dictate it on paper, right? But in federal sentencing, that's not how that's done. In a federal sentencing scheme, which I explained before in one of these other videos where I was just talking about it live, in a federal sentencing scheme, what's going to occur is that the probation office, the U.S. probation office, is going to put together what's called a pre-sentence investigation report. They will have this report done before October 3rd. In that pre-sentence investigation report, amongst other things, they're going to have everything that they can extract from Diddy's family, friends, relatives, victims, witnesses, anything that they can get to talk about what kind of person he is. You can imagine what that's going to be. I see a lot of legal experts. Most of them are ex-lawyers. They're predicting what Diddy may get. Some of them saying as low as 21 months. Some of them saying as high as 41 months and 56 months. Most of them just want to say what they can prove and don't put their foot in their mouth and say, well, he's facing up to 10 years. Yeah, the two charges that he had involving transportation for prostitution carries up to 120 months. That's up to 10 years is what they saying, but they not focusing on the zero. It's not even a whole lot of mandatory sentences judges have to give out now in the federal court. The judges can use discretion. So that whole 120 months, that whole 10-year thing, and you hear him saying he faces up to 20 years. Nobody believes he's going to get 20 years, people. But this is my point. There's an aspect of the federal sentencing scheme called relevant conduct. And relevant conduct is a term that they use to talk about anything that you may have done that was criminal, bad, or can run your points up. Remember, the federal sentencing scheme is based on points. This many points, that many points, up to 40 some points, you could get life. Like, fortunate for Diddy, he beat DeRico because his points would have been 30 to 40 some points, which would have been up to a life. But the relevant conduct is the aspect of the sentence that may be something that's going to run the sentencing up. Nobody, no lawyer, nobody on CNN, nobody on Fox News, nobody I seen that was talking about the matter even talked about relevant conduct at all. So with relevant conduct put into effect, the sentence could be larger than that. Keep in mind, most of these people that's talking about what the sentence would be without relevant conduct or that aspect of the conversation don't even remember that he has a conviction that goes all the way back to, I want to say maybe Steve Stout or something, and they lowered it down to a threat. He's gonna have some criminal conduct that got something to do with the Shine verdict, the shooting and the shooting with Shine. And people gonna say, oh, he was found not guilty of that. He was found not guilty of whatever part that he played in that, but there are other acts that they're gonna allude to that's gonna be in the pre-sentence report. And I'm not saying they're gonna build all this 10-year, 15-year different things, but I'm saying there's gonna be some relevant conduct in there that people wasn't aware of. Catch you in a minute.